In Thomas Cole's painting, The Oxbow, I see this dichotomy between wilderness and development. I think that he is really calling out the fact that our way of developing, our way of improving the land or making it profitable was pushing nature out, indigenous people out. I noticed that he's sitting on the wilderness side, and that makes me think that he is seeing a certain value in it, a certain value in keeping it, wild. My name is Xiye Bastida, and I'm a climate activist. I'm originally from Mexico, from a small town called San Pedro Tultepec, and there I was raised with this cosmology and philosophy of reciprocity in terms of, yes, taking from land, but also giving back, which is very common in indigenous culture. There's a lot of things that happen in my town. There's a lot of factories there that put all of their waste into our river. So we not only had all of these different little glimpses of what it looks like to be a victim of environmental injustice. In 2015, my hometown experienced flooding. So you can really see how the water took over everywhere. This is like the shallower part too. People could still walk on it, but there were parts where it was really bad, and this is my mom right here on the side. That was just something that showed me that the climate crisis is not going to happen at the end of the century, that it was already happening, we were already seeing the effects of it. And I really came to understand the social injustices of not only my town, but really the world when I moved to the United States. Looking at Cole's painting, you see the wilderness side and you see it as empty, but that is not how it should be and how it actually is or was. Obviously at this time, the Indian Removal Act was happening, and this act caused a lot of suffering, caused a lot of pain. It pushed indigenous peoples into reservations that were areas that they had no knowledge of, no connection to, and also they were the most infertile areas, so they couldn't even really practice their traditions. And so what happens with these people who were there? Who is standing up for them? There's this really beautiful saying that my dad taught me, which is common to indigenous communities all around the world, that says we need to look at the wisdom of the past 7 generations to ensure the stability of the future 7 generations. And we haven't been practicing that. I ask myself, like we all do at some point, what can I do to address this issue? So I started to organize the first global climate strike. In my school, I was not yet a citywide organizer. And I started to just talk to people about the strike, about what it meant, about the importance of showing up, and started printing posters, putting them everywhere. The next day they would all be taken down, so I would put them up again. The day of the strike, I got 600 of my classmates to walk out. That first global climate strike, we had 5,000 kids in New York. And this first strike, we didn't have any parents, any teachers. It was just kids. And it was so amazing. But the most important thing was that a lot of the times, people don't have avenues to act. So when you give them avenues to act, they will show up. Just this factor of having solidarity and knowing that we're fighting for something bigger is enough for us to feel like we're in this movement together. My dad still speaks the Otomi language and I'm learning. One of my favorite things is that the word for skin, for our skin, is the same as the word for the outer layer of the earth. So the message there is that if you hurt Mother Earth, you're actually hurting yourself. And that type of relationship in language, in the deepness of tradition and culture, really shows a lot of the things that we need to actually solve the climate crisis is indigenous knowledge. We need for all of us to adopt that type of thinking of reciprocity, and we need to learn how to respect Mother Earth and respect each other through that.